Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with a new video. A little bit more lighthearted, fun video this time, I guess. Some of you guys have asked me, what is it you want in your collection that you don't have? I mean, I don't have a massive collection and everything. I don't believe to be a fan of, let's say, the vintage Star Wars kind of stuff, that you have to have a massive collection. I mean, I know about it, I read about it, I study it, I buy what I can afford, and to me that's good enough. But of course there's some stuff in my collection that I wish I had, some that I sold off and wish I had again. So a lot of you have asked me, what is your holy grail? What is the toys you want the most? Now, this list I made really fast, of things top of my head real quick, 10 of them. So you asked me again in a week, I might have forgotten something here or not. But this is 10 things. Now, this list isn't all Star Wars, although it's about 8 of them all Star Wars related, because that's what I like the most. So I was going to make the video my Star Wars Holy Grails, but I want to throw a couple others on here anyway. So let me, you like my mouse pad? When you can't find a mouse pad, just grab a comic book. Now, before we get started, I'm a little scared right now. Someone is downstairs. I'm scared to go down there because I think they're fitting to jack me with a sock full of pennies. Come here, I'll show you what I mean if I can sneak up on them. This isn't a bit, this is for real. Watch, come here. Okay, hopefully it won't be too dark. And you can see this down here, guys. I might have to. Can you see that? Is that Jar Jar Binks around the corner? You see that? Let me come down. I don't want to come down. I don't want to scare them off. You know how Gungans are. Is that Jar Jar Binks? Is that Jar Jar Binks ready to hit me with a sack full of sock full of pennies or something? That is Jar Jar Binks, right? I'm not crazy. Tell me I'm not crazy. Okay, now let's get back to the junk room. Hey, Jar Jar, if you're downstairs, you got about 30 minutes for me to make this video. Then I'm kicking some Gungan ass. Okay. Let's try to put the camera. Oh! Did I put the camera back in the right spot? Did I say white spot? Okay. Hopefully I put the camera back. So let's talk about my 10. I walked to the other side of the room. I'm tired now. Let's talk about my 10 Holy Grails. Again, this is probably no real order or anything, but I tried to put in the best order I could. Like I said, it probably changes so much, but I think at least the top 3 to 5 is probably. I'm so out of breath. Oh shit, I didn't even walk far. I walk. Shit, I gotta exercise. Okay. Like I said, these are no real order. Kind of an order, a fast order, but at least the top 4 or 5. I don't think they'll change until I'll probably buy one of them. So let's go with number 10. This is I had this as a kid. It's Star Wars related. The Droid Factory playset. I guess you can call it a playset. It's build your own droids. You can build all kinds of droids with it. And it's hard to find complete and loose. And I want it loose so it has all the tubes and all the pieces so it can make your robots. And I really has to have the 3-legged R2-D2. I just like to have that 3-legged R2-D2 alone. That would be one I need to get. Now I have a complete run of the loose figures, and I don't count the R2 as being a figure because you had to make it yourself. So I don't really count that as a figure. You know, that's more of a accessory or something you play with. Some people might count that as an official Star Wars Kenner vintage figure, but I don't really see that as a figure itself. Again, you had to make it. Kenner didn't make it, you made it. You know, I didn't work for Kenner. I didn't get to assemble it. If I get to assemble it, then I can't count that as a figure. Not until Kenner pays me. So I really love to have this set here. It's not really a cool looking set. It's not like something that really look good. It's just, I think for the most part, I haven't really seen, well, I've got a friend, Jeremy. He's got a complete one. But that's, other than that, it's probably about the only one I've ever seen complete. So I haven't really had one that I could really dig into and play with myself, or really look at it, build those droids again. And I have a lot of fun memories of being at my grandparents' house, laying on that floor in their living room while they're watching Dallas or something, and me playing with that set. And it had a little ramp, and it would always be a good ramp for my Hot Wheel cars. So you know, I'd have Smokey chase the bandit up that ramp and make a jump out of it. So it was more than just a Star Wars playset for me. So this is a playset I always love to have loose. I don't really care about having it in the box, because the fun of it is building those little droids and everything, and that three-legged R2. So I would really love that one. That one's really hard to find with so many small parts. To find it complete it's really hard to find it complete. Here's one. Let me look this one up, because I want to make sure I got this right, what it says. Hold on real quick. I know this isn't very professional here. I just want to make sure. This is a talking doll, so I want to make sure I got what it says, because that's half the fun here. And this is something not really from my childhood, because I didn't know about it until probably 10 years ago. But I was like, I have to have it. I'm a huge fan of Sanford & Son, as you may know, the Junkman, right? Sanford is the king of the Junkman. Although that's not really how I got the whole origin of Junkman and everything. So I guess a longer story here. But they made a doll for kids. I think it was advertised for kids, of a Red Fox doll. Now on one side it's Red Fox. You flip it over and you think it's going to be the back of him, the back of his head. No, it's Fred Sanford. It's two. It's nightclub entertainer Red Fox. Yeah, nightclub for kids. You know how dirty Red Fox was at the nightclubs? But you have him here, then you turn him over. Well, I think it is Red Fox. Now that I look at the picture, it's Red Fox on both sides. One's nightclub Red Fox, and the other one is, what they call him? Relaxing Red Fox. Let me look right here and see what it says. I can't find everything it says, but one of the things it says is, "Your daddy sat on me." That right there makes me want it right there. But it looks so cool. Let me see if I can pull up another picture here. Red Fox talking character doll. It's just so odd. Let me see if I can see what it says real quick, guys. He's dressed up in a tuxedo. Come on, you gotta tell me what he says here. It's just such an odd toy for kids. Your daddy sat on me. He sure did. Anyway, I'm not really sure what he said, but there, I'll throw up some pictures. The new Red Fox doll. I would love to have this doll. I've seen it on eBay and stuff, and it's really overpriced. Now, around the same time this came out as a kid, I actually had a J.J. Evans doll that talked, and I used to carry that thing everywhere. I don't really remember it. I was really little, but I remember, you know, years people say, "Man, you remember when Junk Kid had that J.J. doll?" I love J.J. So, JJ, I would like to have J.J. doll. Would be kind of cool to have, but I would like to have that Red Fox doll. That's number 9. Number 8, just because I like it, this is one that's really not bugging me to get one day, and that's the A-Wing from the vintage line. Now, of course, I had the one in the 90s, but this one was released in the Droids line, although I still look at it as being part of the movie line, being that it's based on the one we see in the movie. It's not based on a cartoon one. It just got pushed to the Droids line because the movie line got canceled. But the A-Wing, A-Wing is one of my favorite ships. Probably the B-Wing is probably my favorite. I love the B-Wing. I had a B-Wing loose. I'd like to get a B-Wing again. But an A-Wing I never had, being that it was released part of that Droids line. It's really rare. It's hard to find. It's going to cost you a couple, maybe close to $200 in good condition. So just never been able to bite the bullet on it. It's not like so rare that I'll probably never get it. But I'm a cheap ass. If I can't find a deal on it, most likely now, if I hadn't got it, I'm not going to get it. Because back in the 90s when I was laid down, you know, $200 to $300 for something vintage Star Wars, now I'm a little bit more picky. So here's one I'll probably never get because of being so picky, and that's a Boba Fett on the Star Wars card, the original release of Star Wars. It's going to run you thousands of dollars, but I'm a big Boba Fett fan. If you didn't know, I mean, who doesn't know that, right? So I'd love to have this Boba Fett on card because that's the first figure of Boba Fett on the first card. So as a historical reason of being, hey, the history of Star Wars. You can't talk about the history of Kenner Star Wars figure without talking about Boba Fett. It meant a lot to the line. I mean, you had the mission, the whole rocket launcher, thing, and just having this first one on this original Star Wars card would be pretty cool to have hanging up on the junk wall back there. What else we got? Another one on card. And this one's a little different because this one didn't have any attachment to me being a kid. And that's the Han Carbonite on a Power of the Force card. I've came very close to getting this, but every one I find that I can afford or talk myself into, it's got a bad bubble. You know, it's got it seems like that bubble on that one fades yellow a lot more than some of the others. But with a figure like that, you want it in good condition. You want to be able to see that carbonite block. Why don't I want this one? You know, I didn't grow up on this one. In fact, I didn't even know they made this figure until about 93 when I started getting back into Star Wars. Back into the old toys. I got a price guide book. And I remember going through that list. Luke in Stormtrooper outfit? I couldn't believe it. Anakin Skywalker? Ewoks I didn't know. Some aliens I never heard of. Han and Carbonite. Always been a whole fan of Han and Carbonite. I just love that in the movie. I love a cliffhanger. I guess it's because I used to watch soap operas with my grandma or with my mom growing up. You know, my mom would always watch Guiding Light. And why are you watching this old stupid girl stuff? Guiding Light is so mushy. And the next thing I know, I was caught in. That Alan Spaulding, I hope he gets his comeuppings. Oh, is there anyone more evil than Roger Thorpe? Before I knew I was in on it. And Friday, it would leave you with some big cliffhanger, like someone's coming back from the dead. And you had to wait all weekend to see what happened. And I'll be honest with you, I really got into it as a kid. I mean, Lou Jack. I mean, if you grew up on Guiding Light, I'm not gonna lie, I did. And I think that building something where, okay, I love this cliffhanger. And when I watched Empire and saw that cliffhanger, Empire is kind of like a soap opera. And you're like, okay, I see what my mom's into. I see why you like this stuff. So I really love the whole Frozen to Carbonite. Waiting 3 years to find out what happened. You try to do that today and kids on the internet will have a fit. I remember when The Walking Dead had a cliffhanger at the end of the season and everybody got upset because they had to wait like 5 months or something. It's fun to wait. Cliffhangers are great, and that's one thing I wish I even wish the prequels had a good cliffhanger. Every middle Star Wars chapter should have a great cliffhanger, am I right? Let's see here. Number 5, now this one's a little bit, I'll never get this one, is Han Solo Hoth gear, loose. Now there's a catch, because I do have it loose. I want my personal Han Solo back. I had this Han Solo, he was my favorite figure, and I used to chew on his feet. I don't know why I chewed on his feet. I liked that you could chew on his feet and you could get your tongue to stick into that foothold if you chewed on it just right. Alright, because I'm sure you could do that with all of them, but for some reason I like to do that with Han Hoth. And I like to put my tongue on the Jawa face. It had like little dots on it. I don't know, okay? It's like licking a strawberry. But Han Hoth was my figure growing up. When me and my brother would play, you know, he get a figure, I get a figure, and that's how we wouldn't do Rebels versus Empire. He get a figure, I get a figure, and when my friends play with Star Wars, that's how we do it. Okay, you get a figure, I get a figure, and then we'll have our own army. And first one I always go for was Han Hoth, and I wish I still had that original Han Hoth that I had as a kid, the one with the chew marks in his feet and everything. It would be great. Now I've got some figures. I don't think I've got it over here. Well, actually, I thought I did have it over here. Let's see. No, I guess I don't. Where is it? Oh, well, I got an R5-D4. That's one of the originals I have. It's really beat up, but I love it. I wouldn't trade it for the world because it's the one I had as a kid. It's got all my memories attached to it. It's got the sticker peeling off. It's got somewhere I tape the sticker back on with some brown tape instead of using clear tape, and I love it. But that Han Hoth with the chewed up legs, I would love to have it. What happened to it? I don't know. It's just one of those things that disappears over time. Like a lot of the figures, you know how it is. Somehow we lost a Death Star as a kid. Nobody knows what happened to it. I'm sure it just got thrown away over time. So I would love to have that again. Where are we at now? Number 4. Indiana Jones Kenner collection. Now I would love to collect this line, but I should have collected it in the 90s. Now I had the Indiana Jones Kenner line as a kid. I had them all, had the play sets and everything. They're so expensive now. I would love to have at least an Indiana Jones on card. If not the single figure, the 12-inch. Now I got the 12-inch loose over here as you can see. And I've got well, where's Han at? I got a loose Han somewhere too. Well, there's the LJN Han from Temple of Doom, which I wouldn't mind having that line also. It's only 3 figures, but it's really pricey. I thought I had a Han over here. Why did this idiot keep calling it a Han Solo? It's Indiana Jones. Where's all my stuff going? Anyway, see that Han right there? I mean, see that Han? There's a difference between that Han and Indiana Jones. Maybe I'll talk about that one day. But see the Indiana Jones right there? You see this? Let me get this. I hate to get it because I'm sure shit's going to fall right there. Yep. Indiana Jones. Of course, he's missing his whip and he's got his ugly hat on. But hopefully I can find it and edit here. Here's a picture of me with my best friend Boyd and my Indiana Jones. Okay, that wasn't my friend Boyd, but it did look a lot like my friend Boyd that I used to hang out with. That was one of those dummies you pull the string on the back and make him talk. I love that thing. I remember taking his leg and swinging it around and trying to get it stuck up in a tree. I don't know why I did that. I want to stand right there, but that was me with Han Solo. I did it again. Me with Indiana Jones. Man, I was a cute kid. So I would love to have it. If I can't have the Indiana Jones figure on card, next would be a Indiana Jones 12-inch. Because I remember getting this at Sears with my parents. Well, I think I saw it there and I told them I wanted it for Christmas, and I got it for Christmas that year. But I remember going into Sears. Yeah, Sears sold toys. That's right. We had our Sunday best on, so you know we were at Sears. And I just can remember coming down the escalator in the back of the Sears, the toy section, small toy section, and seeing Indiana Jones. And just my, like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it. I gotta have it. Whew, it's probably how a girl feels when she first sees Scott Baio or something. I just had that yellow box and I just had to have it. Number 3. This is probably not gonna leave my top 3 ever. The Power of the Force Tatooine skiff. I never had it as a kid, but it is so cool and awesome looking. Now I have a skiff right here. It looks very much like it, but this is the one Hasbro did. I think it was FAO Schwartz exclusive. I know they did an exclusive with Target also. I bought this one loose off eBay because it's just gonna have to fill that gap, because I know I'll probably never get that Power of the Force one. I wish I could. That would be awesome. Costs a lot of money. And the color's a little different, so that one's gonna have to do. It looks good, but I just love that skiff. Again, this is something I didn't even know they made when I was a kid. I was out of Star Wars by the time that came out, but look at it. I mean, how could you not want the skiff, right? And the box is beautiful. I would like to have it loose, but if I had the box, that would be a plus, because that box is so beautiful. Andy, I'm still out of breath, and all I do is walk to the other side of the room. Man, I'm just talking too much too fast. So, number 2. And this one, I almost got on Craigslist as a deal, but the guy was like, I don't want to ship. That's too much trouble. And it's not Star Wars, not Indiana Jones. This is a Magnum Pi car with the Thomas Magnum action figure. I would love to have this. Box would be cool, but I would love to have it loose so I could display it. Now, if you've seen, I've done a video talking about this before. If you look at the ad for it, they call him Dan Magnum. Can you believe that? They have an ad, full-page ad, and they call him Dan Magnum. How can you get that wrong when you're trying to sell a toy? So, a lot of times in other videos, you'll hear me refer to it as Dan Magnum. That's where I get that from. But I would love to have this car. It's wasn't many of them made. It wasn't very popular, but it's a little plastic Ferrari and comes with a Thomas Magnum or Dan Magnum. That would have been very cool to have. So now we're at number 1. My number 1 Holy Grail. And this is one I wanted as a kid. Never got it. In the 90s, when I got back into collecting Star Wars and everything, didn't have it then either. Couldn't afford it then. Couldn't afford it as a 20-year-old or as a kid or now as an adult. Couldn't afford it either. A Jawa Sandcrawler. I would love it. Just looks so awesome. You know, I'm sure I got a picture up here somewhere of it, but I always wanted this thing. It looks so cool. Honestly, right now, I don't even care if it works. If the RC part doesn't work. As long as it's got the door. Sometimes it's hard to find the door. If it looks complete and everything, it looks good on display, I would love to have it. But that's always been like one of my, I've got to get that, is that Jawa RC Sand Crawler. Sand Crawler. Say it right? Sounds weird. Maybe I said it too much. But that's probably my #1 holy grail. Like I said, maybe the list will change a little bit. I really want that Magnum car. Really want that. But I put Sandcrawler as #1 because that's the one I wanted as a kid. When I got back into collecting in the 90s, I wanted it. And still to this day, I still want it. Never had it. Now, Hasbro did re-release this sometime in the late 90s, early 2000s. But I want that original. I want that RC one. I don't think the one they did was RC. But I think they use the same mold. But anyway, that's a look at 10 of my personal holy grails. Let me know in the comments below maybe some of your holy grails. Something you really love to have in your collection. Oh, well, Andy, I guess it's time for you to go back to the toy shelf, and it's time for me to catch my breath. Well, I want to thank you for watching. As always, please thumb up this video so I know you like my content. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Junkman.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.
There he is. I knew I had him somewhere. He's getting ready to take off in the A-Team van. Where is that R5D for? Oh, where is my R5D for? Guess he's still in a box somewhere from the move.